You know, before we start, non-related wrestling note, I just want to give a really hard and passionate thank you to Andrew Luck. I want to do that because, first of all, this came to me unexpectedly. This came on a Saturday when I was just hanging out with my family and just to get my mind out of everything that I'm interested to. I just wanted to hang out with my family. Just shockingly, I just heard that Andrew Luck retired out of nowhere, man. That that kind of tears a hole in me because he's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. I feel like he's like a nuanced Peyton Manning. He obviously has the gift. The dude's one of the talented quarterbacks that you don't mind watching. Barely gets into controversy, and he literally has the top skill in his draft class. And now I think the only quarterback remaining is Ryan Tannehill or some late rounders. And now hearing that he retired, that puts a hole in me because I felt like he had the greatest potential to win at least one Super Bowl of his career. Now he's like a four-time Pro Bowler. He made it to the AFC Championship, faced off against the Patriots, proved that he's one in his young career that he can be one of the greats in such a short amount of time. Then proved even with injuries, shit front office, and nobody cared about him, health per se, and made up all these excuses to fix up their image instead of finding ways to actually help Andrew Luck over the years. He still had a comeback season and came to fucking 9 of 10, and after a 1-5 start, getting destroyed against the fucking Chiefs, getting destroyed against the Patriots, thinking that it's good to see Andrew Luck back, but uh, he came back and proved that he can still go. This just shows how much potential and talent this dude has. And to hear that he retired over, obviously, long term injuries over the shoulder, and mentality wise, how that does to your body, I feel for this dude. And thank you, Andrew Luck, for your long stint and your amazing career in the NFL. Your passes to T.Y. Hilton will be missed. Thank you for watching. Thank you for playing a lot of NFL and making Colts football exciting. And before we even, and now it's time for some Monday Night Raw. Just want to get that out there because that's obviously like one of the most important things that happened this weekend, and one of the things that I obviously cared about. So we go into Monday Night Raw. What's the best thing they can do? They can do Sasha Banks promo. It's Sasha Banks promo with her acting like a little bitch because she wasn't in the main event of Monday Night WrestleMania, even though you were the first Raw women's tag team champions defending your belt in a huge situation, and you were still at WrestleMania. You still had the second biggest belts in the company, and second women's belts in the company. And the biggest thing that Sasha Banks could do is bitch about it. Now, I understand she's trying to mean that she should have been in the main event, she could have been the bigger star, and now that Natalya, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte are out the picture, she wants to be a part of that spot. First thing she did was injure Natalya in a weakened state. There! That's a promo. There was a promo about what happened the last few weeks, and I thought, oh, they're kicking off the show. No, Sasha Banks already made an entrance before she can even start the promo. All they did was just issue a vignette. Like, you couldn't just do that at the opening start of Raw, then get what happened on Monday Night Raw, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. They just sucked at intros now. WWE doesn't have pyro now. They don't. Their fucking intro song sucks. That's why they don't play it anymore. I think they only played it, like, after the mass shooting memorial that they were doing the opening of show, then Samoa Joe. It was the only way they can transition into Samoa Joe doing a promo. And then that crappy promo that has Sasha Banks conducting very little heat in just a way to think that she's outsmarting everybody. And then blue is your color. And it's like, is that a really conductive way how to make sure that you're a heel? I'm just saying. I mean, it's an average heel promo, but it wasn't that impressive. This got Natalya to come out and attack her later. later after the promo and beat the shit out of her. Now her arm isn't bandaged up, a bandage up cast, so she'll be able to compete. Next up was a King of the Ring. They had 2 King of the Ring matches in a row, so they had, and I think this was better than later tonight because there's not really that many main event caliber King of the Ring matches until maybe the second round. And we know whoever makes it to the third round is just the semifinals because you have the SmackDown bracket. So Ricochet and Drew McIntyre, that was some good crap. That was a good match. But here's the thing. Drew McIntyre lost, folks. I wanted McIntyre to win. Out of my own personal needs because I thought he was going to be the top guys. They were trying to conduct top guys. But they were only doing this, in my opinion, because Samoa Joe is heel. Samoa Joe is still heel because he still pulled that stupid heel promo. After the controversy he got with Roman Reigns, then he still turns heel. After the promo and won the first round and beat Cesaro. And then Drew McIntyre just loses, even though he had the top waist. He kept tossing Ricochet around, did a headbutt while Ricochet was trying to run off the... He was trying to cancel out any way of Ricochet actually having the match to himself. He did a huge-ass superplex from the outside and took him out. He nearly hit him with the Claymore kick. Ricochet had got the recoil ready. I think that knocked him out. Then he hits the 630 and wins the match. It was an impressive match. I'm not gonna lie. They even say it here. Now Ricochet advances to face Samoa Joe in the quarterfinals next week on Raw. I don't care. Because Ricochet is a tremendous talent. I just did this because for storyline reason, and these wrestlers just look more ambitious to me because I don't care about Ricochet that much. He was chasing the United States title, and now I don't know if they're trying to give him that King Ricochet gimmick, like he has on the indie scene. Like that ever works for any wrestler? So yeah, congratulations to Ricochet. Then we went to a Street Profits promo that I hate having these dudes on my TV. They behave like niggas. Dawkins and the other dude can't make Raw any justice. The commentators are supposed to, or the interviewers, or the authority, one part of the authority that's actually responsible for booking Raw should be hyping up the matches and they should be explaining what the fuck is going on. They were explaining a tag team turmoil match, and it's just a fucking gauntlet. That's a pillow being thrown around, by the way, because I don't want to break anything. So, it's a gauntlet match. They called it the same thing when the New Day were trying to give Kofi Kingston a shot for the WWE Championship back a few weeks before WrestleMania. And you're telling me right now that you just want to change the name? It's like Robert Roode to Bobby Roode. It's the same name. It's just recorded a different way. What the fuck? My opinion. And it's going to be... These were the people in the tag team. A Turmoil match. And that would be a 8 men. So Lucha House Party, Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler. The Viking Raiders that I thought they were trying to push him, thanks all they had was squash matches and little mini feud with Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, but they get squashed. And these are majority of these guys are tag team world champions at this point. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins were Raw tag team champions when they won him back at WrestleMania 35. Fucking the Viking Raiders, before they even were called up, they had to be stripped of their NXT tag team titles because they were being called up to the main roster. So they were a dominant tag team. They never got pinned. And fucking the OCs were trying to regain them after not even after losing them to goddamn Rollins and Strowman. They gave a majority of the segments to Rollins and Strowman, and I thought, oh, that makes sense, because obviously they have a friendship or some kind of chemistry. All Rollins is like, oh, you want to focus on the tag team titles? Dude, come on, man. Let's focus on these tag team belts. Let's focus on these tag team belts, bro. Let's focus on the tag team belts. Why would the belts matter to you? Why would the tag team belts matter to you when you have the most important championship in the brand on your shoulder? And obviously, you should be paying attention on the dude literally gunning for that and can literally kill you. I was super confused. And Bayley and Nikki Cross happened. I'm about to go on the match in a minute. I'm doing this in order. We had Bayley and Nikki Cross in an immediate squash match. There's a few elbows, a couple reversals off the corner, a knee off the... It wasn't that impressive, thanks. Bayley and Nikki Cross, this is like the third time they're wrestling each other in like the summer, and they goddamn can't sell anything for me. They can't. They're really not that interesting to watch in the wrestling ring. And they showed that here with Bayley winning by a goddamn elbow drop. And then we had the tag team turmoil match. And whoever wins this tag team turmoil match will be the number one contenders at Clash of Champions. I keep saying of the champions off cam. Viking Raiders faced off against the OC. It ended by both disqualifications, so it was the Lucha House Party and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode next. And it's like, why would you make such an impromptu tag team like that with Zack Ryder and with Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler burying the entire tag division? With the Lucha House Party feuding with fucking Laura Sullivan. The Revival, they pinned the Revival clean, and then they end Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins in a super kick. Then they beat Heavy Machinery. They had the most move with fucking flipping plancha from the top rope from Tucker, a huge long sharing vertical suplex. Heavy Machinery, I thought they were the guys, but thanks they were the last. Obviously, they wanted Ziggler and Roode to be the underdogs. It's as simple as just taking some backstage time, being like, hey, with the McMahons, the authorities, or somebody has booked me into the tag team turmoil match. If only I can find a partner. Ziggler, would you like to be my partner? You don't screw this up for me. I haven't been on Raw in weeks. It builds character. It builds why we should see these dudes in action. And thanks, all you want to do is show something with very little storyline or have a wrestler being shown that we actually care about. You just make Ziggler and Robert Roode literally bury a very little tag division. Thanks, we barely have anybody. The Usos are gone, the Hardys are gone, and fucking the Bludgeon Brothers been disbanded. Sanity sucked. They got buried on SmackDown, and the Authors of Pain, I think Akeem is still injured. So there's very little of tag team to be even shown here that they need Ziggler and goddamn Robert Roode. And you can't have a vignette on two polar opposites. And then they reference early in the match that Robert Roode has a tag team history. Bitch, when? Oh, I know. All because we can use TNA history. And thinks we can use TNA history. That means Robert Roode has a tag team history. Shut the fuck up. He does not have a tag team history in the WWE. And I think that matters a hell of a lot than what he had on TNA. He was in a tag team with James Storm, and I don't think people even remember that James Storm was even on the NXT roster and kept going half and half because he couldn't hack it. And now they got Dolph Ziggler. The bitch was with the Spirit Squad. Oh, and we put the same guy tagging with the dude who was feuding with Randy Orton like a year ago or 2 years ago. And then they went over Cesaro and Cedric Alexander, and I was confused over this match. It's like, oh, another tournament match. Well, wasn't Cesaro eliminated by Samoa Joe? And you can't find wrestlers to have a simple, relevant match to. I don't know, to build some character. Because I understand Cedric Alexander wants to do a match if he wants screen time. But he has a tournament match the next week on Raw, you can go a week without a one show without showing some of your guys. And going for the dudes that are, I don't know, chasing the fucking 24/7 championship for the last several months since it's been debuted. And I have to see Cedric Alexander. It's not like it was a bad match, but it was still unnecessary to see just Cesaro wrestle, and he barely has any promos anyway. Cedric Alexander was literally given no reason to wrestle. Then before we even start there, they recapped everything Bray Wyatt done. Isn't he like a pre-order on 2K19? I got pissed. Then they did all these segments, and it's like, oh, this is an interesting character. Are they gonna do another Firefly Funhouse right now? No, they did not. Fucking Bray Wyatt hasn't been shown on television since the second to last show after SummerSlam. And all he did was have a squash match with Finn Balor. It was barely any storytelling. It was not that much convincing. All I thought they were gonna do was have Bray Wyatt interact with wrestlers, other than having these crappy, overly tedious, creepy promos that he always does. Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt, they had this match before, and all it had was just less work rate and less parody, and had Bray Wyatt all because he has his new character. Means he's just going to have this squash match instead of like a hardcore match, like Extreme Rules match, Last Man Standing match. Literally explain or show the character of how dangerous this Bray Wyatt was. He had a regular match that he lost by the Mandible Claw, and all they can do is show these stupid segments. Fucking kill me. Show him on television. Have him interacting with wrestlers. This is a 3-hour show, and the most segments came from not even a legit tag team in Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. And it didn't even have them defending their tag team belts. It literally had just Braun Strowman having a US title shot rematch from last week. And even that didn't do anything. Thanks it ended by another fucking schmoz. Cedric Alexander and Cesaro had no reason to happen. There was also the other match into Sasha Banks facing off against Natalya. It was decent selling the arm. I thought it was good off for trying to pull the hair and breaking out the arm, and then using a modified Banks statement to use the arm and try to pull over here so she can just destroy her elbow. It's heelish, but Sasha Banks never convinced me that she was either heel or face. I think she barely has a convincing charisma into her character of being called the boss, and she doesn't lead anything. You left for 4 months when you're not even injured, and barely explain being a little cunt. And now you leave when literally Ronda Rousey is injured, legit now. Becky Lynch is irrelevant. Lacey Evans isn't chasing. Nobody even knows where the fuck Lacey Evans is. And Charlotte's on SmackDown, so she's gonna focus on shit on there with Bayley. And they're returning total divas. I thought the moniker was to take women's wrestling professionally and seriously over the course of this fake feminist movement WWE was trying to pull over these past few years, since 2015 or 16. Now, here's the thing. No one cares about your Total Divas show, since it just aired. And the only reason people wanted to air was to fap to Nikki Bella, all because she was having breast implants, and you like fake going with other fake when she was fucking John Cena. Or you wanted to see Daniel Bryan on screen some more. And now barely any of that is going to happen. Paige is only the most compelling and most attractive woman in there. And I saw something with Ronda Rousey on it. Why would you succumb to this, Ronda? I thought you were an actual badass. That's why I liked you last year. I had so many positive things to say about you. Because you were legit. You actually show passion in your promos. You consistently improve in the ring. Each time I see you. You proved that by having like stupid matches with with Nia Jax having good matches with Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. That's a good, and Alexa Bliss. That shows a good resume, and that shows that you can improve in the ring, no matter even if you just started pro wrestling. That's a good thing. And then the shitty triple threat main event match she had at WrestleMania 35, and I don't even know when the fuck she's coming back. And Sasha Banks just won the match after having a submission and then beating the shit out of Natalya some more. So yeah, that's just a way for her to conduct heat. That I don't care. I did not care about this match at all. Next up was the main event. That had Braun Strowman facing off against the United States champion and AJ Styles. Before they even went to the main event match, let me just tell you, they had a segment for the Street Profits in this in the show, and it's the worst thing. Braun Strowman, they were talking about, ooh, we're gonna hang out in New Orleans and shit. Yeah, nigga. Dawkins just looks like a guy who's gonna say the word nigga, while Montez Ford just looks like he's on LSD all fucking day. Built like he failed like 2 NBA G League drug tests. And then we have them talking about what's gonna happen in the main event. And then Braun Strowman just comes loomed up in the corner over here. He's like off camera. They don't have him like, wait, watch out, he's coming. No, they don't do that. They just point to Braun Strowman standing right there, and it's like a loading screen for SmackDown versus Raw, where you gotta wait for the character to come up and talk to you. Braun Strowman didn't even talk to hype up the United States Championship rematch. All he did was just literally just stand. I understand they're trying to build him up as this towering figure, like WWE's version of the Mountain from Game of Thrones, and yet he has not even won one singles championship since being here, other than that greatest Royal Rumble ugly ass fake belt that's like a toy belt that he won. And oh god, that segment sucked ass. Jesus Christ. Wow. And then the match with AJ Styles. Before we even had a match to that, all AJ said was, how you feel about OC losing? He was about to say that was bullshit. And the shit finished for him when Strowman said, that's bullshit. He got censored once and he didn't get censored twice. When he said that, when after he got caught with a chair accidentally and lost the United States title via disqualification, thanks to ref thought that he hit Styles with the chair. Thinks he's still holding it. End of DQ. Then beat the shit out of everybody. AJ, this totally convinces me. Thanks. Nobody said that we can ban the OC from ringside. Thanks, we have no authority figure. In WWE's coherency to actually having a legit authority figure or a legit storyline or literally having a locker room mean something. When was the last time they actually had like locker room drama for a storyline? A locker room leader. Like, I don't have a veteran heel beating the shit out of everybody like the early 2000s, late 90s Undertaker, Biker Taker. Sure, people managed to find that it's like the weak loading, like fucking weak point of the Undertaker, but it was going by a real life interest of the Undertaker. He was a legit biker, he was a legit leader in the locker room, and he was a badass at it. And obviously, people like his Fred Durst song, and he still was wrestling like the Undertaker, and he was still a legit star, even though people hated his biker gimmick. Somewhat people weren't interested, or people sort of liked it. It was interesting. It was an interesting gimmick, and I didn't mind it. Thanks, it was still the Undertaker. And now Braun Strowman just wins. I mean, loses, but he just defeats the OC. Like that, he didn't need Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins didn't even come up to help out and just witness how intimidating Braun Strowman is. Thanks, he literally accepted his challenge for the Universal Championship after they defend their belts for Clash of the Champions. They have to go to a Universal Championship match. And they kept being like, oh, this is totally legit, even though we have 3 weeks until the pay-per-view starts and anything could happen. There was any pseudo wrestling going on. It's the same thing every Braun Strowman match. He flips over AJ Styles, does all these dumb crafts, reverse him from the turnbuckles. A stupid spot that I always hated, because literally he's not going like across the line, hitting you with shoulder tackles repeatedly in one area where anytime it's difficult for you to dodge. He runs around the ring and hits you with a tackle. Sure, he's conducting momentum and speed, but by God, isn't that the most simplest thing to dodge? You can literally just go back inside the ring, catch your breath, go out for the barricade and miss it, or jump and miss it. It's not that difficult. I know they're trying to build up. Braun Strowman is a freight train with the brake broken. Shut the fuck up. You guys can't hype shit up. They kept commenting on Braun Strowman winning like fucking goddamn uh being a threat for the Universal Champion. You don't know who else wants a shot because Braun Strowman obviously didn't get a shot. Oh, but I know they're gonna have a contract shot. So shut the front door. The match that I'm not having that much complaints was the Miz and Corbin match because I hate Miz's offense. But he tells a story, at least he's babyface, but they don't want babyface to face off against heel in the King of the Ring. And Baron Corbin already sort of foreshadowing his push for the King of the Ring tournament from the first round after putting on the crown and crap, even though he only won the first round match. I don't know if he's technically jinxing himself thanks to face a guy who pinned Drew McIntyre before. And Drew McIntyre got beaten by another midget out of Ricochet. Rog gets a 3 out of 10. I did not like this Raw. First of all, it had too many issues. Coherency wise, storyline wise, their struggle to think of a different wrestling match concept than a rip-off gauntlet match. You don't have to call it different, it's the same shit. Two people start in the match, then the other person gets eliminated, the next team come. How the fuck is that a different match than the gauntlet matches that we had a conundrum of times over the course of this calendar year? How? Oh, God. I feel like becoming an alcoholic watching this show. I feel it coming from my gut because watching this episode of Raw just proved how much I don't know why guys would become alcoholics. Oh, because of watching Monday Night Raw and watching this episode makes me want to die inside. And that's most of my viewpoints. I did not care about what they were doing for Bayley. They didn't even have a fucking Becky Lynch, their top star in the show. All they had was one promo with her involved with uh Sasha Banks. That didn't show up anymore. Seth Rollins barely had a match or much promos going on other than Braun Strowman is my tag team partner. The one tournament, the first round was so trash for Raw except like two good matches until the first round. And still no storytelling, even though you assholes have 3 hours. You can't make a storyline involving the tournament. You can't make a coherent storyline involving the tag team division. Thinks either everybody is injured, gets in trouble, or no one gives a fuck. And there's no storytelling with Sasha Banks other than she's heel now. She changes her color of her hair, and then she's just gonna get immediately pushed when there's obviously no women's division, and yet we give tag team belts. Go suck a fucking dick if you think so. With so many people that are off Raw, or some people that are chasing 24/7 championships, it's still not aired on TV. These assholes are gonna go straight to the Indies come next year. Oh, God. And the main event ends by DQ again? And it has no storyline aligning you for next week? Thanks, there was literally nothing on the line. There was no champ. All matches ended by DQ or schmoz or unneededly had to happen other than heel and babyface reasons. Legit. Go fuck yourself. This Raw sucked. But thank you for watching. That can catch on that quick. Hopefully, if you share the same opinion or you have a opposing opinion, doesn't matter. Anytime you speak, give me a hole inside. I feel lonely. but for feedback or you want to watch more of my content, please subscribe. Like for like my video. Just give me some money. Oh, thank you for watching, everybody. Hopefully you liked my review.